Hello, friends. I have missed you so much. For those watching the replay, you're awesome and I love you. Today, I wanted to talk about where I have been. Where in the world has Kristin been? Have you ever watched that show? I'm dating myself, but I used to watch Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego on PBS because I was allowed to watch PBS and not very many other things. But maybe you were wondering, where is Kristin? And I actually did have some people who knew I was on sabbatical for the month of December reach out and say, I don't understand how you're posting videos when you're on sabbatical. And the truth is, I pre-planned everything. Like, I was really serious and intentional about the sabbatical. And I wanted to tell you what led up to me taking a sabbatical, what I did while I was on sabbatical, and the future things that are coming up that I'm really excited to talk to you about. So let's actually dive in, starting with the breaking point. Let's rewind. Okay, let's go back in time to the beginning of November, and I'm going to try to paint a picture for you of what my mental state was like so that you can understand why I decided that I needed to take the entire month of December off and quit all sorts of things, which I have maintained that quitting from. So let's start with November. Normally in November, I write a whole novel. I participate in NaNoWriMo. And this year I was like, no way, I'm not doing that. I was already working on my book, Your Story, Your Power, which I will talk about in this video because people keep asking me about it. But what did my breaking point look like? And I want you to ask yourself if you are feeling any of these things, because it could be that you're burned out. And I definitely was burned out, and I reached out to some friends and they're like, yes, this sounds like burnout. But for my breaking point, this is what it was like for me. So I would get up in the morning, I would do my morning routine, which is read, meditate, exercise, and then go be with my kids until a certain point when they are all gone. And then I come down into my amazing office. But it was like, I would get up, I would check my emails, I would be super stressed out. I would go into my office, I would look at my calendar and want to cry. Anytime I looked at my calendar, I wanted to cry. It was really full. And a lot of people were like, oh, a full calendar is amazing. A full calendar can be amazing, but there are certain things that depends upon, right? So if your calendar is full and it's all like get to know you meetings and you're not booking any clients, and you're introverted like I am, and you're already like super stressed out with client work or whatever, or I'll talk about one specific client that caused my breaking point to come sooner. The calendar can be like a vile betrayer to you. So that's how it felt to me at that point. I would just look at it. I'm like, I have 5 meetings today. I have 6 meetings today. I was also recording my podcast episodes, and my friend Emma was like, you really shouldn't be doing as many as you're doing. She's like, I max it out at 3 times a week. And I was doing like 6 episodes per week, and that was not helping, even though the show turned out great. Everyone that I had on as a guest was amazing. I was just feeling like tired, and I couldn't be thankful for anything, and I couldn't do anything that I actually wanted to do, and I felt so stuck and confined. So that was the first part of me realizing, hey, I'm not okay. The second part was I was working with a difficult client who kept second guessing every single thing I created for her, and the more I talked to other people about it, the more I realized I was blaming myself for not realizing that she would be difficult. And they were like, hello, Kristin, it's not your fault that you didn't know that she would be like this. Like, did you do all your normal vetting procedures? I was like, yes, I did everything normally. I just didn't get the sense that, so, I'm a copywriter and a ghostwriter. And one of the things that some people don't realize is maybe they're not ready to work with a copywriter. Like, they know their copy's not converting, but then they hire someone for help and they change everything that the copywriter has written. And if you don't know this, like, in the background of everything I write, I'm using proven formulas. Like, it's like math with words, and it's beautiful and amazing. But if you start editing some things out, you might be taking out half of the formula that I'm basing it on, which I know is proven. So I think she just wasn't ready to work with a copywriter, but instead of like I tried to maybe bring that up, but instead of accepting that, she basically said that it was her fault for not vetting me because I was bad at my job. And that hurts. Like, that's painful, especially I don't know, I'd done like 6 or 7 rewrites for her, and I had made her sound like the amazing person she was, because she's really great at what she does. And she would just like delete things. Like, she would delete entire paragraphs without one comment. And if you're a professional writer and you're working with someone and they're not even giving you feedback, that's completely demoralizing. So that definitely contributed to my breaking point. Also, I was so busy, and I did mention, like, I was afraid to look at my calendar, that I didn't have time to do anything that fed my soul. Like, I was busy with work. I was busy with my kids. I was busy volunteering. And at the end of the day, every day, I would just like crawl into bed and not be able to sleep, because I also get insomnia. I have gotten insomnia in the past when I was stressed out. My anxiety coach would be really excited that I rephrased it that way. And it was just, I didn't even realize this until I started feeling better, but I couldn't even feel affection for the people that I really love in my life, because anytime they would ask me to do even like the tiniest thing, I would feel panicked. So what did I do? How did I deal with this, right? This burnout of like, I couldn't function. Honestly, I was not able to function in a healthy way. And I realized that. And then one of my friends asked me to go out to lunch, and she's like, I can tell that you're not doing well. I was like, oh, actually, I already had a plan by the time I hung out with her. And she was like, oh, these things make me really happy. So I decided I'm going to take a month off work. I had the resources to do that because I had been just kind of hoarding money, which I'm going to try not to do this year. And I decided I'm not going to work, and I'm going to do things that feed my soul. And I'm going to like do a batch of content that's like a month's worth of content so that I can still kind of show up in places. And then when my analytics started falling, when I did that, I had to realize I actually need to accept that I'm taking a break, and that means that all of my engagement is going to fall, and that I can build it back up, and that's okay. So that was part of it. So I planned the sabbatical, and then the week of Thanksgiving, my husband got COVID, and then I got COVID, and it hit me so hard. And I couldn't like talk. I couldn't breathe. I had to like sleep sitting up. I have this thing where I have problems breathing in general. So I knew it was going to be difficult. I had someone just write in that they faced it a few months ago with someone who did that, like a client, I'm imagining, they were ruining everything that you did. And it was horrifying at the end. It's not me, it's that person. Yes. So in the end, I actually decided that I was going to fire that person as a client. That helped me a lot. I was just like, this is over. I'm not doing this anymore. And I had to add a contract clause because I realized I need to have something about not doing endless edits, because that's what she wanted. And that's going to ruin. More than 2 rounds of edits is a mistake for copywriting. For a book, I would say no more than 5 rounds, including the proofreading and the copy editing. But more about that in a minute. So I got COVID, and I was forced to rest, which was good, except that I felt just awful. Like, I haven't been that sick in a while. And then everyone in my family got it. They all got it like in the slowest order you can imagine. So it just lasted forever until about a week before Christmas. And then I had a situation with extended family coming into town and like changing everything, and then getting stuck because of weather. It was just not the restful break I had been hoping for. But then that's, when you're telling a story and you hear the but then, you're like, oh, something's going to change. So I was not feeling the best. I was not doing any of the things I had promised myself I would do on sabbatical. And then I had a friend who I was talking with, who happens to be an anxiety recovery expert. And she was like, do you want to meet with me like while you're doing your sabbatical? And at first honestly, I know some of you tried to help me hire you when I first started going through this. And I was like, I don't need a coach because I know that I know myself. And I know that if I hire a coach to help me through this, I'm going to stress out about the execution of feeling better from burnout. And a lot of you who heard me say that, you were like, yes, good, Kristin.
I found this on the web.
Oh, Siri came up. So you were like, Kristin, yes, you know this about yourself. That's good. But my friend was like, let's just do it like casually. So I ended up working with my friend Stephanie, and she helped me so much. Like after the first session, I felt like a totally different person. She gave me lots of tools. She gave me the language to explain what I was feeling because I didn't even have that, even though I'm a writer. That's what happens when you're burned out. You cannot do the things that you would normally do. Your brain is just like, and then that's it. There's not like, like when you reboot the computer and it comes back on, like if you have a Mac, it's all, ah, and my brain was not doing that. It was just like, shut off, stay shut off. So I was like, all right, I started talking with her, working with her. It was really helpful. And then I started being able to do some of the things on my list that I wanted to do on my sabbatical. I read fiction, friends, for the first time in like way too long. If you know me at all, you know reading feeds my soul. So I was able to read fiction. I took a break from content planning and course writing. And if you know me, you know that's really hard for me. I love creating things constantly. So I took a break from that. I completely abandoned my book. Do you remember the one I was writing live and people were like, oh, this is so fun. Like, I love this. I realized that I was looking at Your Story, Your Power, and I had wanted it to be a companion piece for my keynote speech that I've been working on. And it totally wasn't that at all. Like, it was not for the target audience that I had planned to speak in front of at all. 0%. And I was like, I cannot picture like businessmen and women reading this book about having a unicorn in your pocket and it resonating with them. What am I doing? Like I've gone past the first tenet, which is know who you are writing to and what they need to hear. So I completely stopped working on the book and I went back to another book I had been wanting to complete that one of my friends had just finished Write the Perfect Read, the fiction, Write This Way. Sorry, I have too many books. Write This Way, which teaches you grammar. It teaches you structure. It's very basic, but it's like 10 years worth of writing experience in 6 easy lessons. That's the subtitle. And I was like, gosh, wouldn't it be cool if I wrote one of those for business people who are creating content and writing their business books and all this stuff? And I was like, oh, that would be cool. So let me do that. So I completely changed directions and I'm learning that I don't have to stick with something just because it's the thing that I started. And that has been a challenging lesson for me, but I'm really proud of myself that during the sabbatical, which part of it was to finish Your Story, Your Power, the book that I completely abandoned, I was like, I'm going to reassess and refocus and write something that's actually going to be helpful for the people that I want to help instead of just, oh, this is fun to write. And that led me to another goal that I have for this year, which is to write fiction for fun because I love it. I love writing. I'm sure you can tell that. But I actually like writing just for fun. And fiction is that because I can create this world. I have 4 different choices and all of them are series. My husband pointed out last night. So we'll see how that happens, but I'm giving my permission to write things that I don't care if they ever make any money. So that was a whole experience.
I'm not sure I understand.
I keep saying words that are setting. I'm going to take off my watch. That's the solution to this problem. If you're ever wondering, how do I keep my watch from going off? Just take it off. So that was my sabbatical was like really purposeful. I'm doing these things, even if no one understands what I'm doing, even if it's inconvenient, because so much of my last month has been accommodating other people to the point where I couldn't even really accommodate myself. So I really had to push for that. I'm proud that I did. And now I get to talk about the fun new things. So if you were wondering where I was resting. I was doing my best to rest. I'm back. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I cannot wait for like I have the energy now, like I have the passion again. I have the boundaries in place where I'm getting to know myself better and how I operate. One of the things that I'm not going to be doing anymore is having super early morning calls with people because I feel more introverted in the morning. That's something I've learned about myself. So I'm scheduling my day differently because I get these like bursts of wanting to write in the morning. So that's when I'm going to do all my client work. So the new fun things are my podcast came out today. There are 3 episodes. If you go to ybspodcast.com, you can see them. There, if you go on the menu and choose episodes, you can see all the different episodes that are out. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on almost anywhere. It's taking a little while on Spotify. I know some of you are like, it's not on Spotify yet. I'm working on it. The team from my podcast distributor is working on it right now. So that should happen soon. So that came out, and that leads into the second exciting thing that I want to talk about, which is my Impact Accelerator consulting call course. I talked about it last year, and I was like, I'm going to do it. It's going to be complimentary, and it is going to be complimentary, but because I do have to provide some support if people have questions, I'm not just like dumping it on the internet and leaving. So if you want access to it before the waiting list starts, if you listen to my podcast and write a review and screenshot the review and send it to me at impact@literarysymmetry.com, you will go on the list to get Impact Accelerator as soon as it comes out. And that leads me to what is Impact Accelerator, which I'm going to be filming the classes for that today. The script is done. I'm so excited. But it's a consulting call that helps you qualify leads while they pay you, so you don't have to do as many free discovery calls. This is something I tested a lot last year. Some of my clients paid me a lot of money to build out this system for them. And I'm not building it out for you. I'm teaching you how to build it out yourself. And that's why I'm not charging. And that's why my clients don't need to be upset, because I did all the writing for them. But this is something where if you want to hire me and you can't afford my prices, this is how you get the money to do it. And you do need to put in some work. The training is really simple. I explain everything. I give you all the tools you need. I give you the plug and play PDFs so that you can create this paid consulting call in order to have people pay you to qualify themselves as leads. And I've used it. I still am using it in my own business. I've seen it work for my clients. I'm really excited for you to have access to it. But that's the way to get it right now, is to submit the emailed review, a screenshot of your review for your business story, to impact@literarysymmetry.com. Otherwise, it's going to come out on a wait list. 15 slots are going every month. And if you don't get it, you have to wait and apply again the next month. So just so I can keep up with the support, but it's going to be a blast. And also, there's going to be a blog section for Literary Symmetry's website coming soon. I have already written several articles. I'm waiting until I get to the magic number where like the whole page is full, the whole front page is full. But I've been using They Ask You Answer by Marcus Sheridan, because one of my friends recommended that book, and it's amazing, and you should definitely read it if you haven't. But there are going to be some fun things coming on that. And then this is the biggest announcement that I have, and I'm a writer, so I better have words, right? But I'm so excited, I don't even know what to say. Module 0 of My Business Future is going to start in February. It is by invite only, and it's going to be pay what you can, because I am testing out this new system. I've tested it with lots of people, but I'm testing out a new way of teaching it. So that's why it's going to be pay what you can. But I'm really excited for that, because after we do module 0, it's going to be something that I do, I think, quarterly. I have to figure out all the details, but it's amazing. It's going to set the foundation for your business. And it's super affordable, which is great, because a lot of people, you can pay me to write it for you, but it's going to be $10,000. So for people who don't have the 10K right now, who want to learn how to do this themselves, I'm going to be teaching it for a fraction of that price. And it's going to be a blast, because we're going to be in groups together, supporting each other. I'm going to show up live once a week for the 6 weeks. And this is all stuff I built before I had my breaking point moment. So all I had to do when I came back was like, look at it, refine it a little bit. And yes, I'm so excited for everything that's coming, for your business growth that you're going to see because you're following me and because you're on this journey with me. And for everyone who messaged me to find out if I was okay, to wish me happy birthday or happy Christmas or happy New Year, I appreciate you. I see you. I love you. And I'm so excited for the adventure that we are going on together. This is something new that I've just started doing, and I'm going to be teaching it because it's already made a big difference. So here, we're going to end with this. This is the new method based on Mel Robbins's high five method. So when we're doing this together, it's going to reinforce the fact that your business story matters, because if you don't think your business story matters, your business will be in trouble, and that's not what I want for you, friend. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put our hands, or dominant hand, whichever hand you want, on your head. And you're going to say, you're going to put your hand on your gut because it's so useful to you. Business story, and then put your hand on your heart, matters. All right, so let's do it together. My business story matters, because your business story does matter. And I want you to do that before you work on a project for your business. Look at yourself in the mirror, do your head, your gut, and your heart. I bumped the mic, but that's all right. That totally rhymed. Because these are the tools. You can't just do things with your gut. You can't just do things with your brain, and you can't just do things with your heart. They all need to be working together, because that's how you are going to share your story. That is how you are going to change the world for the better, one story at a time. So your story matters, friend. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you all of the wonderful commenters. I see you, and you're amazing. Bye.